Hello. I hope everybody is doing well. So I wanted to try to make a very quick video to talk about what I've got going on. For those of you who are around who still care, my friends who I've made through YouTube, it's important to me that you all know that I'm not just not doing anything with my channel. Things have been really rough the last couple of months for Twisty and I. First of all, I had gone through several jobs trying to find the right fit for me. I'm not a kid. Working in a gas station making $9.75 an hour, standing on my feet all day with a boss who thinks that breaks are antiquated on 11 and 12 hour shifts was just too much. I did get a job with my daughter at the factory she works at, and I worked about the last month there on the floor just packing, and they have moved me to the weekend shift, and I will be a lead. It's kind of a supervisor. Basically, I'm just making sure everybody's doing their job, they got their assignments, they got their schedules, they know where they're going, that things are running smoothly. And I've done one day of training for that this past Sunday. So, yeah, yay! I got 3 more weeks of training, and then I will be a lead, which will be nice. I think it's actually a little bit harder as far as the walking and all that. You know, with the on the production floor, I was just packing batteries, so that's not that hard. They put me at a machine where I could. At a line where I could sit most of the time, which is nice because diabetic foot pain ain't no joke, y'all, and it is untreated for me. I still have not seen a doctor, but anyways, so when I was still working at the gas station, I would say it's about 6 weeks now, 5 to 6 weeks. We had a little house fire. I had mentioned on social media probably several times over the last few years that I have tried to get the property owner, the realtor, whoever, to come out and see about cutting the trees down around the side of the house where I park my car. There were a lot of dead trees. There were actually 2 dead trees that were holding each other up like this, and about 6 weeks ago both were like split trees. They were 2 trunks, you know. And on one of them, the bigger one, the trunk broke and fell on the power line and caused a power surge. And that power surge in turn caused a lot of stuff here in the house to burn out. It set my washing machine on fire, which we had to get the fire department out here. The fire chief was out here looking around, and the outlets, especially in the kitchen, but pretty much in the whole place, are antiquated. The ones in the kitchen are probably the originals. They're the old brown what do you call that, outlet faces on them, and they just look old. None of them have the ground plug or whatever you call that in it. And when we moved in, the fridge was actually plugged in with a little adapter piece, and the maintenance man had told me to just use a drop cord and plug an adapter piece into my washing machine. And when the power surge happened, those drop cords killed everything. We lost our fans, we lost the refrigerator, which we didn't know till a few days later. I was like, something's just not right with the fridge. Stayed cold for days, but I think the motor was completely burned out. So we had to throw that out, and we just decided that we would not invest in another fridge because we had bought that one during the pandemic when the ratty, rusty piece of shit fridge that they put in here the second time since we moved in went out. So anyway, we just decided to buy a brand new mini fridge and just use that. We don't eat at home because there's nowhere to plug anything up in the kitchen, and as you all know, we don't have a stove either. That's burned out. So we just been winging it. We just been sleeping here, and it was comfortable until Monday when the air conditioner died. And I think that has almost everything to do with the outlet that the air conditioner is plugged into. It was really scary because I took Twisty to work, came home, and when I walked in the door, the AC was not on. And I went and tried to plug it, unplugged it and plugged it back in and pushed that little thing on the AC cord, and it did a funny thing. So I quickly ripped the cord out of the wall, and I said, I'm not messing with that. I did contact the realtor, and that is the other issue that we're having. We're in I wouldn't call it in dispute with our realtor. It's just they don't want to fix anything. And if you see their Google reviews, they're notorious for not wanting to fix anything. And so over the years, it's just been like that. And I think I was in this kind of autopilot, if I can just say that for a minute, that, people don't realize how overwhelming it is. We were going through a lot of things, a lot of PTSD, a lot of trauma, losing Julian, the other things we'd been through over the years, and we just didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't handle it properly. I didn't think I deserved to fight for a better place to live. And I've realized that over the last few days with going through all this stuff, that I am sick and tired of putting up with stuff that I know I don't have to put up with. And this representative at the realty agency, she is just hateful. The last phone conversation I had with her was, I want to say, the day after the fire, and her whole demeanor, her whole attitude was just nasty. She just, I said, you're at fault for the trees. She said, they're not our trees, they're not our property. And apparently they sent a certified letter to the property owner and never followed up over a year ago. And I told her in the conversation, but you had an obligation to follow up. This is not my property, and I wouldn't even know who to contact. You never followed up. I said, continuous, numerous, copious emails, phone calls, everything, telling y'all, please come cut the trees down. We had already had it fall on something twice, and we got lucky the first 2 times. The first time that a huge limb the size of a tree fell off one of those trees, it landed on the power line that connects to our building, and it was touching the bumper of my car. It didn't hit it. It just laid on it. The second time, a limb fell on top of our new car that we just bought, and luckily it was not a heavy limb. It didn't do any real damage. And I tried to tell her, I said, you've made a joke out of me over the years. I said, I don't understand why you don't feel an obligation to keep your property up. And she went back and read the fire report, and we had a little argument. I have the recorded conversation, but I don't know if I'll post it. I think I might need it. So I had the fire report too. I actually got it before they did. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but after I had my conversation with her, she hung up on me. She ended up hanging up on me. She sent me an email and quoted the very last sentence of the fire report. And I'll just read it and leave it at that and let you form an opinion. But the whole fire report, I'd be happy to post it on my page or something if anybody's interested in seeing the whole thing, so that you can't say I took it out of context. So anyway, the last sentence says, the washing machine was being used with a small drop cord, and that's the reason it shorted out when it had a power surge. See, she read it as, I caused the power surge because I had the drop cord plugged up. I read it as the power surge, the short was a consequence of the power surge. So anyway, but her solution to me when I said, why do you not have any compassion? Why do you all not want to fix anything? I mean, y'all are just so heartless and hateful. She said, Stephanie, if you don't like it, just move. She told me repeatedly that if I didn't like it, I should just move. I said, you cannot tell me to move because I'm asking for repairs. She said, that's not what I said. But it has been 6 weeks, and according to her email that she sent me on June the 27th at 2:18 p.m., they were going to be sending an electrician out to look at the wiring and get everything fixed. And it is 8:16 on August the 3rd, and I haven't heard anything from them. I haven't heard anything from them where I sent them a maintenance request on Monday saying that they came in and put windows in. I should add that. Such a strange thing. They put new windows in, but they won't fix anything. And I think they have some sort of deal with the guy that put the windows in anyway. But that they can do, but they can't make sure the house isn't a fire hazard. So anyway, when we moved our big sectional, there's a soft spot because apparently, according to the guy putting the windows in, the old windows with the air conditioner being placed improperly, which we did not do, it was leaking into the wall for years, and it has, yeah, I probably never should have plugged that air conditioner up, but after he told me that, but you know, he said now it should be fine, it'll be dried out. No, it was dry anyway when he got to it, but I put in a request when the air conditioner went out and let them know there's a soft spot in the floor and the air conditioner is out, and I have not heard anything. And what do I do whenever a situation arises? It's just like the whole thing, if you all were around for that coffin wallet pattern fiasco. I do my research. I don't like to open my mouth without being knowledgeable of what the situation is, what my rights are and all that. That's just always the thing I've done. That's why that never bothered me, because I know the laws and I know, you know, what you can and can't do when it comes to pattern making. So anyway, I did the same thing with this, and you know, I know by law in North Carolina I cannot withhold rent in exchange for repairs, but I can go to small claims court and file for rent abatement, which means until the landlord gets in here and fixes this shit, I can go to court and get the judge to rule that I either pay reduced rent or don't pay rent at all until they fix it. So, according to everything I'm supposed to do, I need to write them a letter of notice, letting them know everything that needs to be repaired, and I have done that, and I'll be sending that out tomorrow. And I will be trying to get these things fixed, because I talk a lot and I'm an open book, but what people don't understand is you don't see everything. When I'm breaking down, when I'm having a rough time, I'm not sharing all of that with you. When I say that we are in a dire situation here in our home, I mean it is bad. We keep losing appliances and things, burning out, because that power surge caused a power surge, an abundance of power, and it's blowing things out one at a time. It's just, I told my daughter, I said, I feel like we're going to wake up one morning with no power at all. And even the guy from the electric company who came and trimmed the trees off the power line said, don't let this go. This caused a situation and you need to do something about it. And, for a couple of weeks there, I shut down because talking to this woman at the realty agency, it's just, she can argue with me all day long. As tenants, I don't think we realize what rights we actually do have. I don't think we realize that we actually do have the right, which is clearly stated in the thing that I looked up for the abatement. We have the right to live in a safe home. And her attitude was, if you don't like it, just move. Well, we did try that. We've been looking. But it is extremely difficult to find anything else to rent in this area. The duplex next door, they have doubled the rent. It's ridiculous because they're not living in much better of a place than we are. And, according to the power company, even though we're separate meters, same wiring. So she's got the same issue that I do here. And this attitude that this realty agency has, I don't want to get back at them. I don't want to get revenge. I just want to go to sleep at night not worrying that I'm going to wake up and have to jump out one of these new windows because the house is burning down. I don't want to have to worry that when I go to work on the weekends, I'm leaving my daughter in a fire hazard and she has no vehicle and no way around. And what I want is just for them to do the right thing. That's it. That's what we're trying to get done here. So, in having said all of that, if you are still with me, I just want to let you know that I won't be doing a lot of sewing tutorials. I don't even know when I will get back to that. With the job that I have and the other projects that we are working on, this channel, doing current videos is not a big priority for me anymore. And over the years, I've been so scared to speak my mind on that, but it's not paying the bills, guys. It doesn't. I got $37 in ad revenue last month, and I know that me posting content is like 50% of that. Me, there's 65,000 of you guys, 65,000 plus still subscribe to my channel, and an average of only 300 of you guys are here, and that's okay. I don't care anymore. I've never been a social media whore. It's not as important to me as being happy with what I'm doing. Can't wait. We have bills to pay, and now we're in this situation where we've got to get things straight with our landlord. It's just, for me, it's not an option to move either, because we've looked and we've looked. We're paying $350 a month here now. Chances are when they come and fix everything, they're going to raise the rent to $700, but that's okay. We can afford that now. I make really good money, so does my daughter, and we basically have the same job, just on separate shifts. And I want to stay here because our stuff is here. We live here. And if they can fix it and we can live here comfortably and peacefully. We've been here 7.5 years. And when I tell you we've been here 7.5 years and I've never missed the rent, we were late once, maybe twice since then, but there's been 1 or 2 times since then. That was during the pandemic, and we took advantage of that because they sent us a letter out saying that, you know, and they had that where you didn't have to pay the rent. We didn't skip our rent. We just waited till the very end of the month in April of 2020 to pay it, because we also had issues with the car that we had and all that. But anyway, we've been good tenants. We paid our rent. We haven't bothered them because you can't. This rental agency, every time I've ever tried to call and I give up, I'm not going to talk to her on the phone anymore. I will not do it. Even if I do, it'll be recorded. They always try to find fault with you when you try to call for maintenance, and they gaslight you. That's the word I'm looking. They gaslight you, and they get you upset, and then they accuse you of being upset, and they hang up on you, and nothing ever gets done. We just want it to be safe here. I just want to continue to live here, at least until I can buy something or find something better, because the state of the world right now, the state of the town we live in, $1,300 a month is absolutely ridiculous. That's 2.5 paychecks. They can't have 2.5 of my paychecks. And they're not going to raise the rent over $700 a month here, because this building is 90 years old. And it is shit. The windows help. Thank God they put those windows in when they did, because if that air had went out 2 weeks ago, I'd be calling the Red Cross, the HUD, or whatever. But anyway, I said I was going to keep it short, and I didn't, because I had a lot to talk about. I love y'all, and if you want to keep up with me, you can follow all of my social media. I will post occasionally here, but this channel, there's just not a lot I can do with it right now. I have a full-time job. I have other projects that I'm working on that I'm trying to make direct money with. My daughter and I got some things in the works. But, I'm not big time either. I don't have the nice work area. I don't have the nice equipment. I don't have the space to do the things that other YouTubers do, the other seamstresses and sewers, and I love watching their videos. Sewing Times, she's one of my favorite. I get inspiration from her videos, and there's a couple more that I can't remember the name of right offhand, but watch them, love them, enjoy my older videos, but until I get better space, I can manage my time better, and I've got better equipment, you won't see me doing a lot of tutorials on here. I love y'all. Stick with me. Follow me on social media. I love to do, I do a lot of Instagram, and on my page, I have a new Facebook page, which you all are welcome to friend me on. It's a Face So Twisted, and you'll see a new little avatar that I drew there. I'm probably about to change that. I'm not real happy with it, but I just haven't had time to mess with it. Follow me. Let's be friends. My reels get a lot of views. They're not even mine, most of them. You can share TikToks through reels, And some of mine got some views. I told Twisty, I said, why can't it be that easy on YouTube? I know that part of it is that aesthetically my videos aren't as pretty as other people's. And I apologize for not spending thousands of dollars on equipment to make hundreds of dollars a month, maybe. But that's just the way it is. For now, I'm moving on to things that I need to do. I'm making good money, y'all, and we have such an opportunity, my daughter and I, to do so much better. And bless her heart, she doesn't have to foot the bill for me every week because I don't make shit. I'm making good money like her now, and she has her money to spend, and I'm so happy to be able to tell her, go ahead, I'll get the water bill, I'll get the light bill, we'll split the rent. We do all this together, and I love it. I love it. Peace, y'all. I love you. Bye-bye. Not completely bye-bye. I'll see you later. We can't ask for any kind of repairs.
Why don't you move? If you're not happy, why would you live somewhere?
You can't have that attitude, Kelly. Y'all are responsible for keeping this property safe. But you got to follow up with that. If it was your kid and your house, you would not just ignore that.
You know what I'd do if it was me and my kids?
If you tell me to move again, you're going to have a problem because you know there's nowhere else to rent here. You can't ask me to move because you don't want to do maintenance.
I'm not asking you to move.
But you're telling me that I should just move instead of you actually fixing something.
We're going to send somebody else to fix the electrical problem if there is one. I'm terrified to go to sleep. I would move. I would move. Me and my kids, if I was terrified to go to sleep. Now, we're sending somebody out for that electrical problem, okay?
Y'all really, I mean, Kelly, as a human being, I'm just telling you, y'all got to do better. You can make excuses all day, but that will not, Stephanie, by law, that will not excuse you.
Stephanie, tell me, what do you want me to do? And
I want you to fix the problem, and I want y'all to quit acting like you're not responsible. If you knew a year ago that you sent a letter out about these trees and you don't follow, no, it's not all you can do, Kelly, because it's not my property. I don't own it. I'm renting it from you. And in exchange for me paying that rent, I should be able to live safely, not be told to move. In this conversation, she hung up on you? Yeah, she hung up on me.